I guess I'll hit record. Oh,
All right.
I need permission from you.
Oh,
I guess you.
all right.
All right, we'll start this bitch in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Speak Freely. I am one of two hosts. My name's Bailey B. And with me, as always, is my esteemed friend, my superb friend, my strangely handsome and beautiful friend.
Oh.
Why strangely? That's weird. Brian, how you doing, bud?
Yeah. Why is it gotta be strange? I could be.
You know what? That's fair. I'm gonna change that adjective to shockingly handsome and beautiful.
I think that's worse.
What's a good adjective? Shit. Abnormally handsome.
I feel like it just keeps getting worse and worse.
What's a positive adjective? I can't think of any right now. Although,
Not strange, abnormal, shockingly,
how about
weird,
what if I use
oddly.
fascinatingly?
I can roll with that. I'll roll with that.
Yeah, fast. That's your new nickname. Fascinatingly handsome and beautiful, Mr. Brian. How are you doing, man? I'm drinking beer. I don't care.
Ah, well, wish I knew that. I would have got one too.
It's been a day.
Oh, it's been a month.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so today's episode is we speak freely on whatever, because we just feel like it,
Just whatever.
So
That's what this month has been. The
it's
May of whatever.
Yeah, may whatever. That actually that works though, right? May whatever
Yeah.
come, may whatever it is, blah 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 blah. But yeah, it's been a month. I've had a couple of weird things happen to me. I know you've had a couple of things happen to you. I don't know how
Yep.
deep into it you wanna go, but I'll go first.
Sure, go for it.
Just because I feel like mine isn't. It's just weird. It's not like if I say it's not meaningful, that kind of diminishes the person I'm mentioning, I think. But
Sure.
it's just not as important as like what other people might be going through this moment. So
Would you
essentially,
say that it is strangely beautiful?
it's I wouldn't call it beautiful what happened at all. I would call it it's strangely strange. Can we do that? Strangely weird, strangely
Oddly odd? Sure. Why not?
oddly odd. It's oddish, dude. That's a
Hey.
Pokemon reference. I had an old I always say old flame, right? So I was let me get some context. I was dating this girl. I feel like it was 2 years ago. It might have been a year ago. That's how long COVID is. I feel like it's been years. It might have been a year ago. But I was dating this girl.
It's actually way back in like January.
Yeah, right. It probably was like way back in April of 2009. No, but I was dating this girl a year or 2 years ago, give or take. And things were going well. Like we were talking every day. We went on a couple of dates. I thought things were going well. And then out of the blue, she just stopped talking to me, right? She ghosted me essentially, which it happens. I'm sure there's a bunch of dudes out there who have similar stories. Like it was going so well. And then she just stopped responding one day. And I've been of the mindset, and I don't know if it's right, but it's right for me. Whereas like if I send you a text or I call you and you don't respond in any way whatsoever, I'm not going to call or text you again, just because I want to keep some dignity, if that makes sense. Right?
Sure, a little bit of pride.
A little bit of pride. I don't know if it's pride per se, because depending on how I feel about the individual, the interest that I have in her, I might try to call again, but I won't do it more than twice. You know what I mean? Because eventually it just looks like you're begging.
Right.
You know,
and you do want to set up those boundaries, right? You don't want to seem like you're being too needy. You know, it's like you want to show interest, but enough is enough.
Yeah, at the same time, I'm not just sitting here waiting for you to like send me a text. You know what I mean? Anyways.
You got your life.
Yeah, I got my life. I got my dignity, and I'm not just gonna be behind you like a stray dog that keeps getting kicked. You know what I mean? Like I'm just I've done it before. It didn't
You've
work out
kicked a
so well
dog?
for me. No, I've
Oh.
never kicked a dog. But you know what I mean. There's some stray dogs that even though you feed them and you push them aside, it still follows like the person. You know what I mean? Because they provide me with some substance.
Sure.
And I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm just gonna move on. I'm not gonna like forego my dignity to like make you feel more wanted, if that makes sense. Anyways,
Yeah, makes lots of sense.
so yeah, so I was talking to this girl, went on a date, talked for a long time, and then haven't talked for like a year plus. I don't know if it's been 2 years. And then out of the blue last week, she messages me just out of the blue, completely unprompted, unsolicited, just like, hey. And I'm just like, whoa. And it's a long message too. Essentially,
Ooh.
the I know the gist of the message is like, hey, so I've been thinking a lot during quarantine, which is always like, okay. And then she said, the first thing I want to tell you is obviously I hope you're okay. I hope you're healthy. I hope your family's safe. I'm like, all right, that's nice.
Oh, she's considerate.
And secondly, I want to tell you that I'm sorry. I should have treated you better. I know not responding or talking to you was the right thing to do. And then she goes on to explain how much she really liked me, but she didn't know, I guess, essentially how to handle that. She's not good with like emotions and communication and blah blah blah. And essentially then she was also like going through her grad studies, so that made things emotionally complicated for her. But the long gist of it was that she was really sorry and that she hopes that like, well, actually, I don't know. Like, I told her, like, I don't know what you want me to do with this. Like, you're sorry. That's cool. Like, and she was like, well, nothing really. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. I should have treated you better. So I'm like, okay.
Huh.
So that's what happened to me last week. And it's just been weird because initially I was playing a video game. What was I playing? I was probably playing some kind of first person shooter, probably Call of Duty or something. And I get a text, I see it, I read it, and I'm like, huh, that's weird. And I go back to playing my video game.
Okay.
But
As
then
you do.
as one does, as
Yeah.
a man of my stature does. And then eventually I started being like, that's really weird. Like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know if I should feel like, I don't know, happy. Should I be mad? Should I be sad? I just didn't know. I legit, even to this day, kind of talking to you about it now, because this is the first time I'm telling you about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with it. I'm just like, and then I told her too, like, I was like, well, I did reply.
You didn't just ghost her?
I didn't just ghost her. No, I did reply, and I was like, well, I want to say it is kind of like brave of you to like reach out after all this time and to apologize, but I don't know what you want me to do with this information. Like, I'm honestly like confused. Like, what do I do with this? She's like, I just wanted you to know. That's it. I just wanted you to know that I care and that I'm really sorry and I should have done better. And I was like, okay. And that's where I'm at. So it's weird. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, how do you feel?
I don't know, man. I legit don't know. Like, I know for a fact, like those feelings I might have had for her at that
Were they
time.
like rushing back to you?
No, not at all. Like, if anything, it kind of cements the fact that I was like, yeah, I'm kind of glad then that nothing came of it, because if that's how you're going to treat me, I can only imagine like how much worse it might have gotten in a relationship. You know what I mean? It's not to say that I'm needy, because like I like having some independence, if that makes sense. Like, I like my alone time. Obviously, as like a musician and stuff like that, I need alone time to practice, to write, to produce my projects and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, if I shoot you a message and it's like trying to keep a conversation going and then you just never respond for like 2 years, it's just like, you stop talking to me. It's like, okay, I had no worth to you as an individual enough for you to at least at the time be like, look, this is kind of too much for me. I'm going through a lot. I don't think right now is a good time for us to go through a relationship, which I would have understood legitimately. I would have been like, yeah, it sucks because I was looking for one, but if you can handle it, I'm not going to force you into one. And the thing that bugs me about everything that went down too is like, we were good friends prior to that. You know what I mean? Like, we had a friendship established. So part of me was like, I would hope you respect me enough as your friend to and I told her this too. Like, I told her like, hey, I hope you respect me enough just as your friend to let me know if it's not working out for you. Just tell me. Like, like, I'm not going to say it's not going to hurt or not, because obviously that shit sucks, right? Rejection is rejection. But at the very least, like, we could be friends. Like, let's have that open communication. But just the fact that it's like she didn't even tell me she wasn't into me anymore, or she didn't communicate that it's like, you know what, I'm going through a lot emotionally and I can't handle this right now. She didn't tell me anything. She just ghosted.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I mean?
that adds another layer to it, because not only are you losing that relationship that, the budding romantic relationship you had, but
Mm-hmm.
the base of that was your friendship, and that was immediately gone too.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's another major loss. So you got two losses in that one instance.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's and selfishly that I feel very disrespected. And I'm getting to the point now where, as like before, like, I would tolerate it. You know what I mean? Like, I was bullied as a kid. I didn't punch back. I was that kid, right? I just kind of
Yeah,
took it.
sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. But now it's getting to the point where it's like, if you disrespect me, like, fuck you. Like, I don't need you in my life. I don't want you in my life. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
and maybe, like, now I'm not saying specifically fuck you to this person, because I'm not saying like go fuck yourself. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if you're gonna treat me like that when it's already kind of like low stakes, if that makes sense, how much worse would you treat me when it's actually higher stakes? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like
No.
someone, like, if you lie about the small stuff, like, obviously you're gonna lie about the big stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think? As I sip this cool, delicious beverage, not a sponsor.
It's hmm. My first thought was, this apology is not for you, right? It's for her,
Yeah.
and to
Mm-hmm.
make her feel better.
Mm-hmm.
She's sitting at home feeling guilty and says, I need to get this off my chest.
Yeah.
Right? It's not prompted by, um, it's like, I don't know if she came across something that like you did somewhere and like saw that you were feeling like horrible or bad and wanted to reach out and say, hey, like, are you okay? It's more like, man, I feel shitty. What can I do to make myself feel better?
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, it's almost like even her apology is still somehow serving her
Yeah.
in some sense. By the way, folks, not that doing the right thing should not feel good. Like, it should. The goodness one should feel is by doing the right thing sometimes. You know what I mean? Like feeding a homeless guy or picking up trash that isn't yours. Not so people can be like, oh, look at you. You're such a good Samaritan. But just, to be a good person. But yeah, it does feel like, and it did sound like to me like, oh, now that you don't have anything distracting you from your emotions, right? Because we're all just at
Yeah.
home, especially musicians, dude. And this is something I had to confront too, right? And I'm speaking personally. Like, for me, like, I was hiding from like my emotions and my issues that I've had for a while, and I was just overloading myself with work, right? Rehearsals every other night, gigs every weekend, just producing music nonstop, my lessons, blah blah blah, just inundated with music, to kind of like not really pay attention to the fact that there's a lot of things I haven't worked on as an individual, right?
Hmm.
And now that I'm in COVID, and it's like all the rehearsals are canceled because we can't meet up, all the gigs are canceled, lessons are online, so I don't have that. I have just a lot of alone time, and eventually those feelings kind of crept up, and it was like, the universe, God, what have you, but it was like something being like, hey, there's this shit you haven't worked on for X amount of time. It's time to use this time to work on it. And of course, as a human being, sometimes you don't want to because it's scary, it
Hmm.
hurts, you don't want to reopen old wounds and stuff like that. But so that part of me kind of gets it, where it's like, because she's also a musician, duh. And it's like, all right, now you're not in school, you're not rehearsing, you're not gigging, you're in the same boat as I am. So of course you're just sitting down and just thinking about all your mistakes, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, eventually, like, yeah, I kind of get it too. Like, I'm not faltering to be like, I want to feel good about at least one of these, right? So, but yeah, it does come off a little bit like, I guess, self-serving. Is that
Hmm.
the word?
A little bit, yeah. I don't want to shame any of it at all, because if she needs to do what she needs to do to process through her emotions, like, good for her.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're right, it is pretty brave to like reach out to someone that you've wronged in some way. whether it's something small or large, right? It takes a lot to own up to your mistakes, and that's like good for her for taking that leap.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's an apology that is more for her than for you. And
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit biased and sticking to your side kind of thing.
No, serious. This is an unbiased podcast, Brian.
Yes. I'm sorry. Well then, fuck you, David. I'm honest. No, but that was initial thought when you started telling me the story. Is okay. This is about her and her feelings, her emotions, and what she needs to do to get through whatever she's going through.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then now for me, it's like,
Yeah.
what do I do with it now? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
At least it sounds like it's respectful enough that it wasn't in any way like damaging towards you.
no.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it wasn't. I mean, I went through it. I processed it the way I had to make it make sense for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is ultimately like, okay, she didn't find enough worth in me to even give me a reason to not talk to me anymore. You know what I mean? Obviously, to some extent, I can say now, like, it's like, okay, maybe she did find enough worth in me. She just didn't know how to like express that. Because if an individual, I like to think of it this way: if an individual really doesn't see any worth in you, they wouldn't go out of their way to apologize, regardless, right?
Right.
You're like they wouldn't feel guilt to begin with,
Exactly.
So part of me is like, okay, it's not that she didn't find any worth in me, which is kind of nice to figure out, right? It's like, okay, I am slightly valuable,
Yeah, you
but
are slightly handsome.
yeah, strangely handsome. Abnormally, one would say. Yeah, but now it's just like, what do I do with it? Like, you've been out of the picture for so long. Like, I already kind of like moved on from it. Like, I don't know if, and this is the thing, right? Because like, if I don't want a friendship again, does that mean I'm still holding on to a grudge or not? Or can I say like, hey, let's just go our own ways? Like, it was what it is. Like, well, hopefully we both can just learn from it and move on. But I don't like. Am I still holding on to a grudge if I go, or if I think like I don't? I mean, like, thanks for the apology. Peace. Like,
Yeah, and it goes back to the whole boundaries thing, right? It's
Yeah.
where do you want to set your boundaries? I don't think it makes you a bad person or like holding on to a grudge, like you said, if you don't want to pursue a friendship, right? It's people will come and go in your life. You have to kind of pick and choose who you want to keep in your inner circle because that kind of tells you who you are as a person,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's fine to to go your own separate ways as long as you don't harbor any ill feelings towards the person, right? That person can still exist in your world, just not within your inner circle. It's like when Brock and Ash and Misty all separated. Like they're still on good terms. They're still in that Pokemon world. They're just not within their own little circles anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That
she could be
was
the Brock and you could be the Misty. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm definitely a Misty. I'm widely successful. I'm a badass trainer. I have a gym.
And you look good in short shorts.
Yeah, I did look great in short shorts. Um, yeah, it's weird. I don't know, man. I still have to decide. Like, a part of me does feel like I should just be like, I was like, all right, we're cool, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to like have that friendship again. You know what I mean?
Like you don't want to like share memes right away.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Exactly. That's literally it. Like. All right. I guess I could say like we're cool, but don't expect me to be like, hey, you want to hang out? Because
Right.
like I'm not there personally. And it's not because like I can't hang out with you. Like if like a mutual friend of ours has a party and you happen to be there, like I'm gonna say what's up. I'm not gonna like avoid you. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? But at the same time, it's kind of like I'm not gonna go out of my way to look for it either.
Right.
And that is me being a little selfish because it's like I already did that, and no offense, but it kind of bit me in the ass, so I'm not gonna do it again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Wow, that got really deep and emotionally. I got really
Yeah.
personal.
All right. Let's end it there then.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's the
No, no, no,
show.
no. Uh, yeah. How do you feel right now?
I feel full. I just had dinner right before the show. I mean, I'm all right, man. Like talking.
full of food, full of emotions.
Yeah, I'm so full of the emo. I've been listening to nothing but MCR all day. Um, no, man, I feel all right. Like
Yeah.
talking about it, I've always been very like. The more I talk about it, the more it helps me process. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Not that
Definitely.
I talk to whoever's willing to listen. But I talk to you. I've talked to like another friend of mine, another close friend of mine. I've talked to like my sister about it just to kind of like help me process it. And it's also too because I just don't know I didn't know what to do with it for like a couple of weeks now. Just like what do I do with this information? Like, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I don't know. But
Yeah. Sometimes just saying it out loud and like hearing yourself say it kind of
yeah,
helps you process it.
yeah, exactly. That's
Hmm.
always been me. Like I'm the lunatic that talks to himself. You know what I mean? I'm that
Hmm.
guy. And it's just like I'll talk out loud just to process the thoughts because it just sounds all jumbled up in my head. So just to kind of make it
Yeah.
all clear, like I'll talk out loud. And then I've had moments people like, "Who are you talking to?" And I was like, Myself." Like, "Oh, okay, you lunatic." Like, oh, I even do it like sometimes if I'm writing music, I'll be like, "All right, oh that note doesn't work there. Maybe if yeah, I like that note better. All right, that's cool. I like that coloring. I'll put this chord there." And then people will be like, who are you explaining that to?" Nobody.
Get the
It's just
guitar.
yeah. I'm explaining it to the computer I'm working in. But yeah,
That's how
man.
computers work.
Yeah, that's how computers work, right? Hey Siri, write me a C minor chord. Just kidding. But
Uh,
yeah, man, that's been the most exciting thing in my life these last 2 weeks, I guess.
yeah.
That and that nothing really
And that.
substantial's
Okay.
happened. Yeah, nothing's really substantial's happened in my life. So I'll do a terrible segue and ask you if you have anything you want to
Do I have
talk
any
about.
curveballs in my life? Oh, man.
Maybe a couple of sliders.
Actually, a couple of beef sliders do sound really good right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ooh, they actually kind of do, don't they?
yeah. Food. All right. Yeah, it's been one heck of a month. Floyd May whatever.
Floyd
Um,
Mayweather.
where do I start? So Mother's Day, right? I get up. Um, I'm supposed to be working. It's a Sunday. Mother's Day, usually really busy. Even though
Mhm.
we're doing just to-go orders, we're kind of expecting like a huge like breakfast rush. You know, like get your French toast for your mother as you know as she wakes up in bed and kind of thing. We even had like this whole chai French toast setup that you could buy. So you get like 4 slices of bread, you get the French toast mix, you get a couple of berries to go with it, some maple syrup on the side, and it's basically all set for you to kind of just go home and make your own chai French toast. But I wake up in the morning, it's like maybe 6 a.m., right? Because I start at 7. So I go out to the car, 6 a.m. I've got 2 whole tires missing. And it's odd to see because it was like the front driver's side tire missing and then the passenger rear side missing. So it's like 2 like angles, right?
Mhm.
And so I can't even like I don't know like roll it out anywhere because it's just gonna be like odd like tilting kind of thing. Um, and it's 6 in the morning, so I'm thinking, okay, whatever. I'll go to a tire shop, get some tires, put them on, and then like I can go to work. Maybe a little bit late, but I can go to work. So you know, I text my manager all this. She goes, okay, cool. We'll just take care of it. We'll see you later. Called tow truck to come take the car to the nearest tire shop that's open on a Sunday at 7 a.m., which is hard to find actually. the guy shows up and he goes, I can't tow this. Like, even if I tow it, it's gonna damage the bottom of the car because of the way it's like set up. And then he goes, do you even know if that tire shop sells rims? And it dawned on me, like, they didn't just take the tires, he took the rims too, like all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called the tire shop and they said they don't sell the rims. So I'm like, well, now I'm fucked. I can't even go to work now because I don't have any way to get there. So anyways, I filed the police report, filed the insurance claim, all that stuff. Over the course of the week, I ended up buying some used rims on eBay. And then as soon as they came in on a Friday, I quickly put them in the car, called a tow truck to come get it, and they sent the wrong kind of tow truck. The guy looks at it, he goes, I can't tow this with my truck. Like it's impossible. He doesn't have the right kind of tools for it. And it's like close to closing time for the tire shop. So I'm kind of panicking at this point. And the only thing I could think of is, okay, I'm gonna take my brother-in-law's car because he let me borrow it. Take the 2 empty rims that I have, take it to the tire shop, put 2 tires on it, bring those tires back to the car, and then put them back on. Which is exactly what I did. And tow truck guy was he was kind enough to like stick around for the whole thing, so he can help me put the tires on like really quickly, kind of like NASCAR style. I like came rolling the tires, rolling that to him, and it's just like with the gun, just like really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a crazy week dealing with that. Overall, spent $200 on the rims and then $400 on the tires, so $600.
It's so weird how tires are more than rims.
Right?
But
Well,
whatever.
yeah, it's crazy.
Especially considering that it's the tires that wear out, not the rims themselves. But
Exactly. Well, I mean, I did buy it used on eBay, so it's if I bought them like from the manufacturer, it would have been, I think, like 350 a piece.
it's still less than
So
what the tires cost.
yeah. Anyways, and then so I dealt with that, and uh, last week, so I guess an entire week after that, my grandfather passed away. So I was dealing with that as well this past weekend. And I'm doing okay. Like I feel like I was prepared for it. You know, his health wasn't all that great to begin with. He's been bedridden for the past 2 years. He suffered a stroke, I think, maybe 15 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's like it's been a slow decline since then, and I feel like, at least for myself, I have been kind of emotionally prepared for like this day to come. It's unfortunate how it came about. He, he was in bed, so he like never moved. So we had this whole setup with like the railings on the side of the bed, right? He had one of those beds that kind of like hospital bed, so he can kind of like sit up whenever we need him to like eat or like drink his water. He can watch TV, be comfortable. We had home care. Right? So like, he was in the hospice care, so a nurse would come every day, help with like bathing, changing bed sheets and diapers, things like that. And then, so this nurse who's been, with my grandfather for the past maybe three years.
Mm-hmm.
She was a nice lady, but not exactly the best nurse. Like there was a couple of incidents where it was like, you ask yourself, what are you thinking? Like, why would you do that kind of thing? You know, like she would. I think one time he had like feces in between his fingernails, and instead of like just cleaning it and brushing it, she's like, well, it's under his nails, let me just cut his nails. And she cut him like so short that like his fingers were bleeding.
Mm.
So it's, you know, like her thought processes aren't exactly the best.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened with the most recent incident was she was changing his diaper, and then to order to do that, you have to kind of lean him over on one side and like roll up the sheets, lean him over on the other side, and fully pull it out. She forgot to put up the railing, and she tossed him off the bed.
Yikes.
Yeah, so he hit his head. He had like a big chinchon, right? Like a big bump on his head.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they rushed him over to the hospital. He was there for about a week, um, with internal bleeding and things like that. And then doctor sent him home. He came to visit like a couple days later, and he kind of stated that yeah, his organs are failing. You know, the internal bleeding was a little bit too much, and it could have been any day now, kind of thing. Um, so at least it gave the family time to like really prepare for it. You know, we got everything aligned. We called, you know, like Forest Lawn, which is a cemetery locally here
Mm-hmm.
in the San Gabriel Valley. So we got everything situated there, and luckily, like my grandma had money set aside that she was able to buy a couple plots of land. So like their grave sites, like it's ready. It was kind of waiting for them. Um, so we had that all situated, and we called the like mortuary services and got that set up even before, you know, we knew exactly when he was gonna pass on. And then it was kind of nice to have like the family come together for this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even though it was like everyone kind of gathered wearing masks and stuff and being in separate rooms just to kind of limit that kind of interaction. Uh, it was nice. We all got to sit and then preparing like the, you know, the slideshow you would do for like the service. So we had like boxes and boxes full of photos, and just everyone's kind of going through a pile and sharing like, oh, you remember this? So remember when this happened? Or if we found something, we're like, oh, like when was this? I've never seen this before, kind of thing. And that was always fun to like share different stories that maybe like one side of the family hadn't even heard of before.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And then it was on a Sunday. Um, yeah, the nurse came over to check on him because oh he's like hours away. You know, it's just it could be like could have been Sunday, could have been like Monday in the early morning. No one really knew, but but it's really just hours away. And so everyone gathered at their house, and everyone was there. It was their present, and it, it was nice to have everyone there for like that final moment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And
Man.
then yeah, so that's been my May. Uh, the actual funeral service was really nice too. We kept it very small, just immediate family, right? So it's uh, my grandfather is like his kids, right, and then their kids. So it's just kids and grandkids got to go, uh, and that was nice. There was only I don't want to say only 23 of us, but it was 23 of us, just kind of a large number, I guess, for a family.
Mm-hmm.
And we can only be in the room 10 at a time. So it was also a lot of like kind of shuffling around, going in and out. You know, one person goes out, one person goes in, kind of thing. It was very quiet, very peaceful. It's very beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sorry about your loss. My condolences. It's
appreciate it.
it's very cool though. Maybe that's not the right words, but I think it's a. I
Say
think
it's very cool your grandfather died.
no,
No.
it's like that would be fucked up if I did actually think that. No, it's like it's kind of a beautiful, awesome thing that like y'all were able to be you all of you were able to be there during those last moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most people don't have that luxury of being like, we can be there. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? A lot of times it's unfortunately sudden. It's you know, I have a couple of friends who I won't name out, but it's like, you know, some of their parents just suddenly passed away. Like they were there
Hmm.
that morning, and the next day they were gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't have the blessing of knowing that it was coming.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Which is like, I don't know. I'm very fortunate. Like I still have my parents. I never got to meet my granddads. Both of my granddads on my mom and dad's side, they both passed away way before I was ever born. So I've only ever had my two grandmas. But I would hope that, like, you know, we would have that blessing and that I don't know what other word I can describe it besides blessing, that if their time was to come, we would at least be prepared to be like, it's coming, let's prepare everything. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
think that's
I definitely feel very fortunate in that we had that opportunity, like just to
mhm,
be afforded that, like the time to process that it's coming, and then the time to process it as it's happening, and then time to process it afterwards,
mhm,
and then to do it all together as a family unit.
mhm.
Yeah, very, very fortunate. I feel very lucky to have had that opportunity.
Yeah, and I don't know. I would think that, like, being able to have that time, not to say that it's easy losing a loved one, but I feel like it would make the process less painful
Yeah, it definitely does. Um,
compared to like just suddenly just being like, oh, by the way, someone you love just passed away just now, and having that initial shock and having to deal with
mhm.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In
like
that moment.
how do you process that? It's such a huge change in your life to know that.
Yeah,
You know.
I think that's why isn't like the first stage like denial for most
Hmm.
people.
Yeah.
Whereas like at least at least like I don't know. I would like to think like if I had that, I would want to have a little bit of a heads up knowing someone I love was gonna pass away, just to kind of
Hmm.
like, number one, selfishly, right, to get through my own process of like grieving, but then also number two, to be there for that person as they move on to that next chapter that all of us don't know what the heck is about. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So yeah, my condolences for your loss, but I also think it was very fortunate that all of you got to be there. You got to be there in his last moments, so in some way he didn't leave, you know, he didn't leave alone, he didn't leave in pain, he was surrounded by love and warmth as he moved on. So I think that's not cool, I guess is the terrible word for it,
But
but I
as
think it's,
cool as it can be.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's beautiful, it's awesome, it's
mhm.
poignant, and it's a blessing that most people don't get to have. So
Yeah. This I would say was strangely beautiful.
hmm so yeah, kind of like you.
And I'm like,
Eh,
yeah.
that's what we call it. That's what we call a callback, folks.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't want to say it was easy, but it was definitely easier knowing that it was coming.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a word for it. I can't. I'm terrible with words. That's why I'm a musician, because I don't have to write words. It's not that it's easy losing a loved one, right? It's never easy losing somebody you love, but I don't know. I would think it makes the process just a little less painful. Not to
mhm.
say that the pain isn't there, obviously.
Right. No, but you can get ready for it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. The prep work is there, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, man, you've had a way whatever May than I have. So
But yours is equally as shocking
don't.
in its own way.
No, no, I didn't. Nothing got robbed from me. I didn't lose anything. So no,
No.
don't don't compare. Don't. It's fine. That's why I went first, because
Yeah.
mine was not as,
Hmm.
I guess, what was I calling it? Impactful, I guess. It wasn't
Yeah,
as life impactful as like what you went through, man. By the way,
that's fair.
not who the fuck steals two tires
And
at that
leaves the other two.
at, at that angle, right?
Yeah.
It's just the driver's left side and the
Hmm.
passenger's back.
Right. Yeah.
Why? What kind of did you
Yeah.
piss somebody off? You got
I have
enemies?
I have no idea. but it's a gated apartment complex, and so it's, I don't know, it's not very well guarded. Like there's no security standing at the
Yeah.
gate.
Hmm.
And I've done before where I just kind of follow somebody in and no one really says anything. So it is kind of weird that like, and it happened. So like I parked Saturday 5 p.m. It's around the time I got back, and then like 12 hours later, I'm outside and it's gone. So at some point between 5 p.m. and like 6 a.m., these people came in and stole those 2 tires.
And nobody in that apartment complex saw or
So
said anything.
nothing.
That's fucking fishy, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, I don't know if I trust it.
yeah. No,
'Cause
I
I think
bought some like these like lug nuts that are like special like locks that you need like some kind of special like wrench to pull them out.
mhm,
So that might help a little bit. But still, it's just, yeah.
it's fucked up.
If you're gonna take 2,
Why those
why
two?
those 2? Yeah. And
Take the front.
if you're gonna take any at all, why not just take all 4?
Yeah,
What are you gonna
but
do with 2 rims?
it's and I
Which makes me feel like, okay, because the ones I bought on eBay were selling just 2 rims. So I'm like, huh, could those be mine?
yeah, they probably were. Like, huh? They seem oddly familiar.
Hmm. Those
Let's scratch.
scratches.
Yeah,
Yeah, those
exactly.
scratches. I feel like I'd
Hmm.
seen them before.
Hmm. That's fucked.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, dude. That would ruin my May. So that was an episode.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone who's watching this, how do you feel now listening to that? What has May done for you? Have you had good stories or bad stories? Leave it in the comments section down below. You see that? I'm a
I
professional
did see
YouTuber.
that.
Yeah,
Ah,
dude. I know.
gotta
I know
work
what's
that
up.
algorithm.
Yeah. Did you like this episode? Click a thumbs up. If you disliked it, click a thumbs down. Apparently, it doesn't matter. Just as long as you're engaged. Apparently, I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh,
I don't even know. Are we putting this on YouTube?
I have no idea. If this is on YouTube, thank you for watching.
Yeah, please hit that notification bell and
Yeah.
subscribe. If you're watching this on, what else is there to watch on? If you're watching this on Pornhub.
Hmm.
What does Pornhub have?
Same.
Yeah, because
Thumbs up.
I never go on it.
That sounds fishy.
uh, all right,
I
bye.
think it's the same. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe bell, comments,
That's
all
pretty
that.
much everyone just kind of
Yeah.
rips off YouTube, right? I think that's a safe
Yeah.
assumption to have, that everyone just rips off YouTube
Yeah.
because they were the originators. If you're watching this on Instagram,
I'm
weird
sorry
because
to break it up in different stories, but
yeah, it's just one long. It's just skip, 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 skip. Alrighty, I think we should end this podcast now because I'm just rambling,
yeah, we're done.
which is what I do. All right, guys, that was an episode. But legit though, wherever you're watching this on, I'm pretty sure we'll upload it everywhere. Subscribe to us. Leave a comment. Hit a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you really hate it. If we depress the shit out of you, I don't blame you for hitting that thumbs down button. But at the same time, have some empathy. You know, we're all
Yeah.
going. It's okay to feel a little bit what we're feeling. It's fine. You'll be fine. Wow,
Yeah.
I just.
And they got really cynical. But if you liked it, go ahead and reach out and let us know.
I don't think our episode was cynical though. Like we
No,
and
but that last few seconds of you
I was
ranting.
I was I was I was I was I was I guess nagging the listener to be a
Hmm.
better person. Be
Well,
empathetic.
yeah, don't steal tires.
Yeah, especially in that odd angle. If you have to, right? Which I don't know
Yeah.
why you would have to. Steal the front two or the back two. Let the poor guy be able to tow his car. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The fuck? We all just want
Mm-mm.
some French toast for Mother's Day.
Right.
Tune in next week. We don't have an outro, is what I just realized. 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't
we
know how to
don't.
end this. I don't know how to
Yeah.
end this.
We just cut it, I guess. I don't know.
We just cut it.
Yeah.
Just cut it. All right. Just cut it.